Everyone, and welcome. Hi, welcome to dairy-free cooking. Oh my goodness, the thing is so delayed. So welcome to Cooking Dairy-Free and I Forgot with Nancy. So welcome to tonight's live. So a little delay. Anastasia and I were watching a movie, and then we got, how that stuff is, drawing you into watching something that we shouldn't have watched in the first place. So let's see here. Alrighty. So I'll make sure I was live. Hey Kim, how you doing? So we'll see how tonight goes. Just kind of a little bit longer than I thought. A couple things that are coming to the cooking channel. I have them scheduled out. Let's see here. I can't see. So next week, here's a little sneak peek of a couple of things. This doesn't look good. Well, it's not what's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be different, but that's okay. It still tastes wonderful. I understand. So I am just going to make a couple of meatballs. We're going to bake them because, like I said, my prep time was with Anastasia and having fun with her. Alrighty. So I'm just going to take a little bit of ham turkey burger. Put this back. And then we're going to season it with some salt and pepper. Alright, garlic powder. Trying to see if anybody else came in. So welcome to TV watchers, people here in the chat and replay watchers. Thank you for coming. Here's our salt. Here's our onion powder. I love that garlic. I'll put in some turmeric and ginger here. And we're going to mix that all together. Sounds like it's got. I'll put something on my hand or something actually on the fork. Alrighty. There we go. So we'll just make 2 meatballs out of this. That one there. I know. Meatballs are round. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Good. That's right. I'll put that one right there. Alrighty. So in the meantime, I'm need this over here because I want to get some more water to have some tea. And we can talk about food and what's coming around the corner. Finished drinking my peppermint tea. And there goes the water. So the oven has still got 2 more minutes to preheat. Alright, and I don't know how to flip the camera or anything. So if it says being a grandma doesn't make me old, it makes me blessed. Let's see here. That's not what I want. Let's see here. No, don't want to share screen, image settings. I'll have to play around with this to see. Oh, no. Of course, I want the front camera. And that's just people. No, that's not what I want either. So my shirt's going to be backwards until I can kind of figure out how to flip the camera. Is that what I want to do? No, that's a sharing an image. Let's see here. Video. There we go. Did I get it right? There. Now y'all can see my shirt. It says being a grandma doesn't make me old, it makes me blessed. How about that? I know some things. Woo! Alright, let's put our meatballs in the oven. We're going to bake them probably about 30 minutes. We can sit here and talk. Let me get a book because I want to talk about something. So I can show y'all this. This was the closest one that came out to be what it was. So the video is coming out this week is about these right here that I made. They are called cream cheese bells. Well, me and Anastasia, we ate most of them. Well, this is the closest one that came out to looking like it was supposed to. So, and then since I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, I just rolled the dough out, put the filling on the top, and that's what we came up with, like a little pizza, a dessert pizza pie. So all the pictures and all are on the video. Just like, so this is not my recipe. This is Taste at Home, the Ultimate Cookie Collection. So there will be more cookies coming out of this. Will they be all looking like this? I don't know. I hope so, but you know, that's, I don't know, because I went by the directions, kind of, sort of. I always read the directions before you start anything. I read the ingredients. Yeah. I read the ingredients so I could get the ingredients. I'm going to say Let's see here. That was on page 114. That's 114. And keep. All right. So the thing I didn't read when was we cover and refrigerate the dough overnight. Awesome, Kelvin. I'm just like you know, um, that's just my alarm. So it's like, well, reading directions is helpful. I just wanted to make sure I had all the ingredients. So as I'm making the dough, and it's in the video, I'm like, well, oops, this is supposed to be refrigerated overnight. And, just watch the video when it comes out because that's all the bloopers there. But I'm like, they look wonderful. I had an aunt that would make those. Oh my goodness. And then she had some other kind of pecan or walnut stuff she made and everything. I used to have the recipes, but I don't anymore. So I was just like, oh man. And they do have the pecan balls in here. We've done the pinwheel we've done it with peanut butter, but I'm going to redo it with the jelly because I have strawberry jelly, and everything just looks amazing. I would love to sit there and make. There's one that I saw. I think it's number 11. It's apricot bars, but I was thinking, you can use anything. These right here, which are the apricot bars, and if you really look at it, it's kind of made just like you would if you use the Bisquick. I've got that cookbook too, and I'm like, ooh, you can use strawberry and maybe blueberry or a raspberry or something else to make those. I was like, that looks good. And then all the chocolate. So that's awesome. But they have so many recipes in here. And something else I made. But I'm gonna redo it. Let's see here. Do I still have it? It's the peanut butter oatmeal. Almond sandies. So it's like the pecan sandies that are Keeblers, but these are almond. Oh my goodness, I love those too. That was so cool to have that. And this is the book I was talking about on Our Treasure Home, but this is the Cook's Country from America's Test Kitchen. Now this guy right here in the red, he's gone off and done his own show and everything, and he has a cookbook out also. He does a lot of vegan. Oh, this pan always does that. I don't want to say vegan, but he does do stuff towards that way also, just so people can understand. So I just bookmarked that. Let's see if I can find. So that's the slow cooker pot roast. I'm trying to find one that has pictures. Okay, and then they have Latin fried chicken. Like, okay, so it's the seasoning that makes the difference between the chickens. So, because like this has cumin, paprika, and oregano. So I guess that's and salt and pepper. So that makes it Latin fried chicken. And then the coating has pepper, garlic powder, baking powder, white pepper, kosher salt, ground cumin, cayenne pepper. So that's pretty cool. And then they have the chimichangas in there. And everybody likes chili, so. So like this minestrone, I love minestrone. I've always liked that soup. And then the slow cooker Italian Sunday gravy. And then that's what they have for that. So some of the things in here, there's a lot of things in here I can't eat anymore. But there's other things, that we can do. Like the California barbecue beans. So because as I was talking about meatballs, and then the thumbnail, and this is good, breakfast pizza. I had found, I follow her on Instagram, April Sunrise Farm, and she does have a YouTube channel, but she found like an original recipe of ketchup, and it's made from grapes, and you can also use it as barbecue sauce. So I was like, thinking about what I could do for tonight, I was like, oh, we'll just get a sneak peek about the barbecue sauce. I'll catch up. And, oh yeah, this is awesome. Mixed berry scones. So I've got a lot of cookbooks I will be doing recipes. I don't know if I'll do that, but that looks good. Funnel cake, bread recipes, Swiss hazelnut cake. Now this I really like. Lemon icebox cheesecake. So a lot of things like this that aren't dairy free, I can show y'all how to make them dairy free and alpha-gal friendly. That way you still can have the things that you love to have if you're not having regular dairy. And yes, apple pie. That's nothing better than homemade apple pie. French silk chocolate pie. So I can take, like I did, I took that chocolate pudding I made and everything and made that into a pie. Anastasia and I ate that up. So, and then, let me see if I can find another book real quick. And Kim's been sharing a lot of recipes with me also. So I think, between her and then, their favorite recipes and everything, I'm quite sure I've got a lot of lists going on. And then, you have your crock pot book that has the crock pot recipes in there. This is what I really want to make. Anything with chocolate. But even the shrimp, that looks good right there. And then you have your meatball subs. So, a lot of things in here that you can make in your crock pot. So, we'll get those out and we'll make those. And that's like, we flipped through here and looked at stuff and like the cheesy broccoli casserole. And it's like sometimes it's hard to figure out, like, how do you substitute like evaporated milk, it calls for evaporated milk, and it's like, oh well, I can't have that. So you kind of skip over that recipe. So we're gonna be working on things like that because it's like some of the things that they use are on a list and but dairy free, and everything becomes expensive. And so it's like, okay, put on your thinking cap and let's see how we can substitute that evaporated milk and make it to where we can have it to eat. So that's what we've done. Now people have come out with more recipes. They're not quite sure, if you search the internet, but then some of the ones you find it's the same way, and it's like, come on, make it easier. So I will start. I have tried making evaporated milk before, so I'll be doing that again on this channel, because I don't like how it turned out. It didn't seem like it was the right consistency. So it's time for a redo. Definitely time for a redo on that. Let's see here. That's been in there for about 10 minutes. So plain coffee can be used in place of evaporated milk. I did not know that. That's good to know. So that's something we have to take note and see if we can try and do that. Yeah, because it's like, all right, so we take fudge, for instance, your regular fudge. Sometimes I've seen recipes with just the marshmallow fluff or evaporated milk, and it's like, oh my goodness, how are we going to do this? So we have a lot of my recipes are in storage because we're putting stuff in totes. And also, it's like, oh goodness, I've got to go back through the computer, through the tab, the bookmark thing, and see if I can find those recipes. And hopefully the websites aren't, some people don't do the websites anymore. So that's why we write things down. And I was in the process of writing it, we had it written down and transferring it to the computer so we can make a cookbook. And I got a little, like a pamphlet type one done. And the place I was going through to make a book type thing, a cookbook, they wanted to charge $399 for a consult to just sit there and get everything done. I'm like, no. And then when I saved it to my computer, it had their website across the paper so that you can go print out your own cookbook. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't your cookbook in the first place. This is my recipes that you're supposed to let me use. Actually, it was just free website to sit there and type it all up. And I'm like, if that's the case, I should have just used Google Docs and typed it all up, put the pictures in there, and printed it out myself. So I've got to do all that and everything. Because it's like, no, you're not going to sit there and try to say I copyrighted anything from y'all at all. This is my stuff, and I've got proof of it. So, so that's that process. Plus, all the other things I'm trying to do, work on thumbnails and descriptions, and that's like, it's a busy day. And I'm like, okay, today, when you use like Kindle or Window Forest and everything, they give you classes to go to and everything, so you know how to use the product. So it's like, this is so much fun. So I'd rather be cooking and then doing videos, but everything's a learning process. So I want to check on these because they smell good already. Because turkey burger actually doesn't cook as long as regular hamburger. Let me see. And they're getting there. That's not too bad. And because that's one thing I have found out. Ground turkey burger cooks. Hey, Misha, how you doing? I'm doing all right. Sitting there cooking some meatballs in the oven. So, but I found out that ground turkey doesn't cook as long as regular hamburger. So that's pretty cool if you're looking for another option. And I think ground chicken cooks even faster. So it's like, that's pretty cool. If you can find regular chicken on sale, like chicken breast, chicken thighs, and everything, and if you had a way, like you have a, I want to say blender, we have the attachment to the Ninja that right there to we have both attachments. The other one would be like a food processor or a mixer and everything. It has the dough hook. We can switch it in and out. So I like, well, if I give me some chicken, I can ground the chicken up myself and make, chicken burger. So, but those two I have. I found a turkey and chicken ground burger that you make patties and all with cook a lot faster than your regular hamburgers do. Which I thought was interesting. And you think they would take a little bit longer to cook. But they don't. So I was showing people a sneak peek of a video that's coming out next week. My attempt to make these right here. One turned out halfway decent. I saved one because Anastasia and I've been eating it. So one turned out close enough. So then I decided I just make this instead. So it's okay. Trial and error, it's okay. It's fun to make and bake things. If it doesn't come out right, that's all right. We done made something new. So let me see here if I can find this. Because it's in a jar. I'll pull that one out. Alrighty. There we go. I got pushed in the back of the refrigerator. So here's my sneak peek. I'm not going to tell y'all how it's made because the video comes out next week. But they are called cream cheese bells. And it's a walnut filling that's inside of it. So, and the recipe is attached to the video for everybody who wants the video. And then now I got this recipe from April Sunrise Farm, who's on YouTube and Instagram. So, and it's made from grapes. So I was like, if this turns out well, I can have ketchup / barbecue sauce. I'm not going to tell y'all how I made it because I want y'all to go watch the video. That comes out, it should be Monday. I know there's a video coming out Monday. All right, let's check these out and see how they are. Yay, they are done. See, they don't take long at all. So I'm going to get a plate. I'll put these on. So with the meatballs, you can sit there, have them like this. You can melt cheese, put cheese on top of it. You can put cheese in the middle of them and make them a juicy, loosey meatball or, and stuff. But I wanted it like this because I wanted to show y'all the special thing that I have. All right. So this is the little one, but this made a little over a pint of is ketchup slash barbecue sauce made with grapes. So I was just like, and it smells more like barbecue sauce, but it smells so good. So, and it reminds me of a thick barbecue sauce. I mean, a long time ago when I was little, going to my dad's sister's house and they having this. And they used to tell me it was ketchup or something, some other kind of sauce or something or other. And I'm like, this isn't ketchup. This tastes like barbecue sauce, you know. And then as we got older, you know, when people coming out with their brands of barbecue sauce and everything. But I'm telling you, oh my goodness. Now, I didn't take it through a mill and get the skins off the grapes. I just used it all. Oh my gosh. It is good. And it does. It tastes just like barbecue sauce. Like a sweet, tangy sauce. Not a hot, spicy one. So there we go. Our barbecue sauce on our turkey burgers. If we have some homemade bread, a homemade slaw, that will be really good. So now we're going to take a bite here and see how well this tastes. Just bring it to me so I don't fall in my lap, let it fall in my lap, you know. Yes. Oh my goodness, that just pairs so well. It would even go good with regular hamburger. Oh my gosh. That is awesome. And I just have not used any of it. I saved it for tonight. It is a sweet barbecue sauce. Now, as far as like the apple cider vinegar or whatever you use, you can add more or less and everything. But it came out a sweet barbecue sauce. Yes, it did. So there we go. So when you taste it, give me a moment. So when you taste it, the first taste is like ketchup. And then when it hits the back of your mouth, back of your tongue and everything, you can taste that barbecue, that sweet, tangy barbecue sauce. And I tell you, it will bring you back to when you were little and you would look at stuff, it's like, that's like barbecue sauce and everything. But it is because it doesn't have the red paprika in it. It doesn't have the red, cayenne peppers and everything, which makes it all red. Plus the tomatoes make it red. So I saw something the other day that used to say that tomatoes was considered poison and everything. That's why I didn't use tomatoes to make ketchup and all that. So I don't know how. It was just a little reel thing that I saw on Instagram, but I didn't really do any research. But I'm quite sure they thought that you couldn't eat tomatoes, and then they found a way to get all that to where it's edible. But I am definitely. Oh man, I like when I get another canner out because I want one of the electric canners instead of one that goes on the stove. Because yes, the burners are fixed, but they can't handle the heavy weight of a canner or a water bath canner. Because I would be definitely canning some of that up so I can have it for later. So that's, yeah. And that was 3 pounds. That was 3 pounds of grapes. So almost 3 pounds. So it was like 2.43 pounds of grapes that I had. And that made a little over a pint. So I'm like, yeah, buddy. So the next video will come out when I make some chicken. I'll pair that up with the chicken and everything so we can see how that would taste. And then I've been outside and itching and everything today. My nose is itching. Oh yeah. And like I was showing with the there's other cookies I'm gonna make also, and then some other cookbooks that there was a crock pot cookbook that there's recipes in that I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try different things with it to use maybe chicken or the ground turkey and everything. So we have other options. I was talking about like sometimes fudge or other desserts use evaporated milk, and when you're dairy free and you can't have it, or you have other allergies, you kind of just pass off that recipe because it's like, oh, maybe something you really love. Oh, that is awesome. So it's like making a substitute for that evaporated milk. And Kim was saying that you can use coffee instead. So I was like, that's a good idea. I'll have to sit there and write it down and everything and then research it to see how you use coffee instead of evaporated milk. That'd be really good. Oh, no, it was so beautiful here today. So nice and cool. I think our low is, let's see here. What's our temperature? 65. My kind of weather. I love it when it's cool. Cool. So, and then, a lot of recipes that we have in books that it wasn't that we couldn't cook them. It was just trying to find the substitute with dairy and cheese and everything. Now, a lot of the beef ones I can't have, but that's all right. We'll figure out something. Oh, yeah. And then I didn't get to go to the allergist last week because it was so hot. I just couldn't. Not coffee. The coffee made creamer, but it has to be plain. But if the coffee made creamer is made with dairy, I still can't have it. And neither can Anastasia. So I still have to find a substitute. I think I made it once a long time ago. But I have to research it again. So I'll go to the allergist this coming up Thursday. Besides, I like morning appointments anyway, not the afternoon. So because of course, when you go to the doctor, then all this starts to clear up. But that's all right. I took pictures. So we're still trying to figure out what in the world is going on as far as food allergies. I got something stuck in my tooth. Anyway, with the alpha-gal, he said it may not necessarily show up in the test, but definitely if you eat it and you have a reaction, it's just cut back on it and everything. So we tested it out again Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. We had tacos Tuesday. No, we had tacos Wednesday. Wacky Wednesday. It's non-dairy. I had dairy allergies as a kid, and that was what Mom could use. Oh, okay. Definitely, I'll look into it. So I tried a little bit of hamburger. I did fine, and it wasn't like a whole lot. So I was like, I think every once in a while, or maybe once a week, try it again, but maybe once every 2 weeks, because the cycle with the alpha-gal with me is I have something that I shouldn't have, it takes 2 weeks for the whole process. From start to finish with, the reaction, my hands or whatever, my eyes. And then the flare up, and then the end of the second week, it starts to go away. I don't know. And so, our bodies are the way God made them. And sometimes they just act weird. It doesn't mean we are, but that's okay. That's the way God made us, to sit there and help each other out. And then I was talking about the cooking, and then the breads. I'm a bread lover. I love my breads, the rolls, and everything. Like I've been doing on Now Treasure Home, on a weight loss journey. So I do the low carb, no carbs for breakfast, no carbs for lunch, and then I eat my dinner. So that way I get the bread or whatever, other carbs I want to have in that 1 hour. And I've lost 30 pounds in a year, which I don't like. That's too long, but it's because of other things going on. And then I was showing that picture. I can show the picture here. Hi. All right. There we go. So let me find it. So I did not struggle with my weight until after third grade. I don't know why, but that's okay. Alrighty, let me get here. I pass it every single time. Alright, so this was Christmas, Thanksgiving, Christmas of 2012. So that's around 400 pounds. It took me a year to get 10 years to get 100 pounds off. And then I kept it off and everything. And then I went back and looked. So it'd be 3-4 years ago, I got the weight off. I got down to 250, and then everything else decided to go out of whack with the grocery store. So I put it on. Then, because last year I went back to the doctor, and I was like, I ain't putting no weight back on. And he looked at me and goes, yes, you have. Just look at it. So I was denying myself that I did, but I could tell. Normally what I eat for breakfast is bacon and eggs. Now, 2 days a week, I will have like oatmeal with blueberries, and I'll put like cinnamon and allspice and ginger. I make my own, and then I'll sprinkle that in there because that's also a good source of fiber. But most of the times, because I like changing it up, eggs and bacon. But you can for breakfast. If you make like a lot of chicken, thank you, Misha, cook an extra chicken or hamburger or something like that at nighttime when you're making dinner. You can take that chicken and you can do all kinds of things with it in the morning. If you want to have chicken in the morning for breakfast, chicken and eggs. You can take the hamburger and just save a little bit out. And while your eggs is, cook your hamburger and everything, and then take your eggs, mix it in a bowl, put it on your hamburger, make a hamburger omelet. You can add peppers or something, vegetables that are low carb. Or is it pork or turkey bacon? I use turkey bacon, but the bacon that we use has been on recall. Isn't that lovely? The Oscar Mayer turkey bacon got recalled. So I'm just like, I have one that's in the freezer right there, but I'm like, I don't want to use it. I need to throw it away because they got it. I think it was, anyway, this better be safe than sorry. It's just not use it and just toss it. But everybody else uses pork bacon. I use turkey bacon because, again, that's that crossing that line. I miss having pork bacon. I love bacon, but turkey bacon is just as good. Here's a secret. Anastasia rather have the turkey bacon than the regular bacon. It's like, yeah, it was recalled last month. Last month, it was recalled. Forgot where I put my phone. Alrighty. Let's see here. I see that comes another recall. Okay, these recalls, and ain't nothing but the food. It's about because they forgot to put on the label about food allergies. Whether it be something with the dairy, soy, egg, peanut, shellfish. That's what most of them all about. Let's see. Now, Oscar Mayer has recalled nearly 368,000 pounds of turkey bacon due to potential listeria contamination. Okay, food like that's a little bit different. The recall affects various packages sizes was used by dates from July 18th to September 4, 2025. While no illness has been reported, consumers are advised to discard or return the product for recalled products. I just rather just throw it away because, yeah, it is. It's tricky. So the affected pack is a 12 ounce, 36 ounce, the 3 12-ounce packages, and 40 ounce, 4 12-ounce packages. The ones that we buy. Like, of course it is. So now they're doing a U.S. Food Drug Administration has announced a recall on cases of Member Mark's freeze-dried fruit after they were found to be potentially contaminated with listeria. The recall was initiated by the manufacturer, Dollar Dry Ingredient Solutions, and affected products were distributed to Sam's Club locations nationwide between July 1st and July 25th, 2025. All right. And it's like, yeah, most of everybody. They might as well just list the whole United States instead of just like 40 states or so. But I'm just like, to me, when it comes to that, hey, Donnie, how you doing? And that's what they have quality control for. To sit there and catch that stuff before it leaves the warehouse, the manufacturing place and everything. So sometimes to me, it just a lot of hoopla. Just like it was in the 70s. That's my opinion. Awesome. Hey, you'll love this barbecue sauce. I'm not giving it how I made it. Y'all gotta watch the video next week. But I'm telling you, it's so good. And it's made with grapes. So, and I got a full pint. A little over a pint, but I got a pint of it when I made it. Hey, Joy. And so, I was like, That's not. I'm not going to really talk much about that, but I just thought it was kind of interesting because that's what we were talking about. I'm like, isn't that what quality control is for in the first place? Somebody ain't doing their job. I've had jobs like that before, and I'm just like, yeah, somebody's messing up. But as far as cooking dairy free and alcohol, it's just become a way of life. Now, with Anastasia, they are trying something new. They have now where she can, it's called a biologic thing. Well, what they do is start introducing the dairy that she's allergic to for her body to build up to where, oh, this isn't really what we thought it was. So we're not going to have to have a reaction to it. Hey, we had popcorn for our movie. We watched The Emperor's New Groove tonight. That's why I sit down. Might be a little late because we're watching a movie and everything. Because school starts in a few weeks. She don't like that idea. Neither do I. I mean, Bucky's kettle. Ooh, have one for me because we can't have that. So she's been doing good and everything. As far as like any really major reactions, she's had none. Just a little bit of like, if you're tingling on your tongue or something other, which is just your body warning you, hey, you've had something that you shouldn't have had, but then your body will go, oh, well, that's not nothing, so it will process it the way it is. They are, as have said, by May of next year, if she gets to the maintaining level that she has and no issues whatsoever, she can she still wants to be a normal kid and have regular ice cream and everything. So that's pretty exciting. And that was her choice. That was all her choice. She's 11 years old. And the doctor talked to her about it. And they said, as far as that goes, mom and dad really didn't have any say about it. But if they saw that she was having issues, they have a hotline number, a doctor that's on call all the time and everything after hours. So, they've got the drill down pat and everything, if anything would have happened. But Anastasia's doing excellent. So, she's just, the only thing that's really hard is for an hour, she can't do anything. So they start at 3:00 because in the hour they cook dinner and everything and then halfway eating she has to drink. It's just milk, organic horizon, kind of watered down, but there's a solution or something, another. Anyway, for an hour, because when you're working and everything and you're jumping around, the kid, or if you're just out in the garden and getting up and doing things to walk around, you're heating your internal body up to have your metabolism going. So she can't do for an hour. She has to stay level and not do a lot of things. She sits and draws and plays her games and everything. Then she eats, and then halfway through, they do the dose, and then for 2 hours, you can't have your internal thermometer heating up because then it'll just take everything out of whack. So that's like, I know, Misha, this is so exciting because I've been praying for this ever since she was born, that the Lord, completely heal her or have a way so that she wants to, that one day she'll eat like regular ice cream. Yeah, dairy-free ice cream is good, but sometimes that regular ice cream, you just see that's it's just something different. Some of the stuff that may not be in it is good, but Breyers, if you go get Breyers ice cream, there's only like 3 or 4 ingredients in it. It depends on what you get. Oh my goodness, she will be joy. We were talking about all kinds of things that people don't realize when you have food allergies and you just can't have. So, Dunkin' Donuts. the donuts are made with milk. We can't have that. You know, and even if we just went in to get coffee or whatever, they, be so busy to sit there. And sometimes a lot of people we have found when we ask that they could change their gloves or wash their hands or wash their knives or whatever, it seemed like it was a bother or an inconvenience for them and everything. And we just stopped going to those places to eat. Subway was one of them. It depends on what Subway it was at. A lot of them were really understanding and helpful. But we just got to where, we just didn't have the money going out to eat as much as, we still do, but not like we used to and everything. And then when, 2020 and all that, stuff was closed down, we didn't go out to eat. And then, as far as Chinese food goes, everything is fine with that. And I thought it was, because I always said cashew chicken. I would love to have some beef and broccoli. So I get the cashew chicken, and the last time I had it, there was a lot of things. Yeah, soy allergy is bad. And, that's where all this started. But I think this is partly was the tomato plant, because I wasn't using my snips I had. And also this cast iron that I was using. So we were talking about that the other day. And I even emailed my doctor. And it's this one right here. And it has that coating on it. And because when I went and saw my regular doctor, he saw my arms. And I told him what was going on and everything. But I forgot to tell him about this pan. And I've already talked to Lodge. This is not a Lodge pan. This is a Mojo pan, he knows what I made it. Anyway. So when they made, they found Swanson's, that makes the Swanson's broth. It's come out with a ramen broth. So they made chicken noodle soup with that and everything. Put the seasonings in it because we know it's not soy. Because I've had the soybean allergy test and that came back negative, 0. So we said, let's try it. So I tried it. Nothing happened. This cleared up. And so I was talking to my son. So this was probably Tuesday, probably Wednesday. And because he asked if I was going to have tacos. And I got to explain to him. I said, well, we did a test. That's what the Ninja was for. I didn't use the cast iron. I used the Ninja and everything. And then I was like, okay, use that for a month. Let's try this cast iron again. And I was like, when I did that, this all came up. And I'm like, then for the last week and a half or so, I said, I haven't used it. And he was like, oh, no. I'm like, yeah. He goes, could you have overlaid yourself with iron? I'm like, I don't know, because that was not a test that my doctor did, a blood test, and test the iron level. So he goes, don't use it no more. I said, no, it needs to be tossed. I have another cast iron in there, but that got ruined. And we've tried everything to fix that one. And that's like, it's got to go. So I will be looking at a ceramic skillet to sit there and cook in. I was like, I told him I'm going to be cooking in the oven a lot just because I'm not using that pan. And I was like, forget it. Now I have a ceramic dish that I cook in. The one that I used for the first chocolate pudding that I made, and that little ceramic one, I use that and bake a lot in there. And I didn't want to really heat up the house that much because, July was so hot. So I was like, I got to cook. So I try to cook later in the evening and everything. So, but we get the afternoon sun on the backside of our townhouse. So it's always just hot. But that's all right. So I cooked these. I'll show everybody again. I cooked the turkey burgers in the oven. Now I was talking about the turkey burger and chicken ground chicken cooks up faster than your regular hamburger. I don't know why. It just does. But I was like, here's my turkey meatballs with the barbecue sauce. And it's a very sweet, not sweet, but uh, that is awesome. And so it goes really well with a ground turkey. So I was like, oh, I gotta try this with chicken. It is so good. Because like I said, when you first taste it, it tastes like ketchup. And then as it goes down, you can get that hint, that barbecue taste in the back. And I was like, oh my goodness, I love it. And I was telling everybody beginning, I saved this just for tonight because I didn't want to use any of it yet. And I was like, oh, I can use it for tonight and let everybody see and everything. And I was like, oh, so now, like I said, all right, so I made this tonight. I had this big one left over and I got a half of one. I'll put it in the container, and tomorrow I can have this for breakfast or for lunch. So, like, I used to have, we got chopped steak and everything and all. So I will cook an extra one, and I would have that for breakfast. Or my mom was always getting chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A. I would eat the chicken, or the breakfast chicken. I would just keep the biscuit later, or I would just take the chicken off and hand her the biscuit, and they could have an extra biscuit. And that's what I would do: eat chicken, and then for my lunch, I would have, like, if I had leftover, if I made extra chicken or extra steak, I made chicken salads. I had egg salads, tuna fish salad. And you like tuna fish, you can do that, and you just don't have to have it plain. Dress it up a little bit. Put that salt and pepper in there. Onions, chopped onions. If you like leeks, you could put leeks in there. Peppers. A lot of foods, vegetables don't have a lot of carbs. So, and even if you just use just a little bit of it, not even a fourth of a cup, if you just use, a sliver about that size, or, cabbage. I use a lot of cabbage and onions. And you can just make a good filling, wrap it, like if you use chicken, egg, or tuna salad, you can take and get some romaine lettuce, or even just regular lettuce, or you can use kale or mustard greens. Wash them really good and just make a wrap with that, and have, instead of using bread. So that's another way to do low carb. I've done that way before. Oh yeah, we love ground chicken around here. It's just expensive. My son, they bought it one time. We bought it, because they made enchiladas, and so they got the ground chicken, so I could have some. And he goes, but that stuff's expensive. I said, I know it is. I said, we can just use the ground turkey. And so we've got the glass casserole dishes, and do one for y'all and one for me, and I can have leftovers, for the next day. So, but yeah, I've done that before. Even with the steak, I've done the steak for lunch the next day. Of course, any meat is low carb anyway. And then if you just search your vegetables, put low carb vegetables, it's like your broccoli, your kale, your greens, cabbage, mustard greens, turnip greens. Carrots do have carbs, but you just have to watch on the carrots. Let's see, what else did I use? Peppers. Cucumbers are good. They're like all just basically water. Radishes, turnips. I'm trying to think of stuff that I use. What else? Now, beets have sugar, but that's like a natural sugar. Now, when it comes to like beets and like stuff like that, so this is what I would do, Misha. For breakfast, I would have no carbs, which would be like eggs and bacon, or if you cooked extra chicken and everything, and use that to make, you can take the chicken, chop it up and everything, just like I did with the hamburger, and make an omelet with it, or do a chicken omelet or something like that, or just chicken. And if you make your own mayonnaise, or mayonnaise has low carbs. Diane likes ground chicken and ground turkey. I'm not too fond of it. I like the ground beef. See, that's why everybody is different. And especially that's what we're talking about, the blood type, how different people, if you're type O, if you're type A, and then type AB, everybody likes different foods. For tuna, I just do mayonnaise. Oh yeah, relish and pepper with crackers. So change the crackers out to lettuce, whether it's a regular lettuce, romaine. You can have it's called bulb lettuce, but like butter lettuce or something like that. But like a wrap, and use that instead, and then that's your low carb. So I would do no carbs for breakfast, no carbs for lunch, and then after I fix my dinner. So dinner so if I started at 5 o'clock eating, I had to 6 o'clock. So you have that hour. In that hour, you eat your regular dinner, and then your snacks. You want ice cream, or popcorn, or something you know that you would have a snack at nighttime before you go to bed. Have it in that hour. And I lost. So I'm 250 now. I weigh the same way I weighed when I had my son that I live with. He's upstairs sleeping. And when he was born, like 20 pounds or so, it was just him. He was 8 pounds and 14 ounces. No, 8 pounds and 16 ounces. I was like, why don't you just put the other ounce on there? Made him 9 pounds. So, but after my divorce is when I was working at GNC, and the guy that worked with me, he showed me how to do the low carb, and it's called the Carbohydrate Addicts Diet. But he changed it up for me and did it that way. Now I was able to walk 30 minutes before I ate breakfast back then, and that revs up your internal burning engine, is what he called it, to start using the fats that's stored in your body for energy instead of what you're eating, the carbs. So you have 3 sources: fats, carbs, and protein. So whatever you don't use up as in your carbs, your protein gets stored as this lovely stuff right here. But mine is also because of limited mobility, which I'm working on. So knock on wood. How about that? So, but anyway, a lot of it also is, I guess they say what you eat, which is true. If you eat a lot of junk food, well, some people, that's not right, because there are people I know who grew up who ate junk food as skinny as a stick and still are. But if your body is carb sensitive, whereas your body doesn't burn the carbs like it's supposed to, it stores it, because our bodies are, you store stuff, your body stores stuff to keep you warm and fluffy in the wintertime. I don't know, but I'm like, that doesn't help, because my hands and feet will still stay cold in the wintertime. So, but that's what I've been doing. I've been doing the no carbs for breakfast, no carbs for lunch, and then I eat my dinner. So, but here lately, when I get up in the morning, by the time I'm finished getting up, doing my devotion, sitting there, getting emails done, doing a class of a Bible study or something I'm working on for both channels and everything, I'll look and I'm like, and I made my coffee, and I'm like, I'm hungry, and it's like 11:30. I'm like, well, I guess it's not breakfast anymore, it's lunch. So basically, I eat lunch between 12 and 2, and then I have dinner between 5 and 6. And I sit there, and like tonight, what I did, took that ceramic baker thing, and I had a piece of chicken, and I put mustard on it, and I seasoned it with salt and my turmeric and my ginger. And we had some corn left over from tacos, so I put that on there and some cabbage. And I just let the juices from the chicken cook everything else, so the corn's already cooked. That's me, part German, store for winter. Yep. Anisha, we make me can because I'm French and German. So we had to get out together and sit there and see about, because I've done my 23andMe and Ancestry.com. We just never know. So, yep. It is store for the wintertime because you just never know. So I baked that till the chicken was done and everything. And then I topped it off with some cheese, put it back in the oven, let the cheese melt. And but they had their version of chicken and dumplings, and so there was a biscuit left for me. So that was my bread. And so I had the bread, the vegetables, and the chicken, and I was full. I'm going to tell you the little trick it is. The first 3 days, and drink plenty of water. Drink your water on this because that will help start flushing your body out. The first 3 days, it's going to feel like, oh my goodness, what in the world am I doing? Because your body's so used to eating a certain way, and when you change it, it's like you feel like you're starving. But all right, that first day, you will eat in an hour, because I did. The second day, 45 minutes to an hour. By the third day, within 30 minutes, your body's like, oh, I'm full. But I pushed myself on that third day because, like, I want my ice cream and some sweets and everything that I made the other day. So I'm like, okay, but I had done it in that 30. I started when let's see, it was 5:30, quarter to 6 when I started eating. And before 6:30, I was like 6:15 or so, I was full. I was like, okay, I'll have some, I know I'm having stuff with Anastasia tonight, so that's what I like about doing it that way. You can pick up the next day and just start over again. Yes, meat and potatoes and bread. But see, there you go. If you like the meat and the potatoes and the heavy stuff, do that for your dinner. You don't always have to have low carbs for dinner. That's when you have so if you cook at 5 o'clock and everything is finished by 5:30, it says 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, or if you start at 5:30 to 6:30, that's when you have your meat and potatoes. It doesn't have to be low carb at that time because you've already done that low carb. The goal is having 50 carbs or less a day. Some people do 70 carbs or less. So some people have done 100 carbs or less. But my goal was 50 carbs or less. And some days I do pretty good. Some days I don't, because some days I do change it up. And I lost that weight. I went from 230 pounds. This was back in, 1998. 97, I left my ex. So I was sitting there. So, that's had to be, let me think. Right in there, nothing. And so spring, almost summer of fall of 98 is when they had acquired the Nature Food Center, and that was in Virginia. And I hired him as the guy, he was a weight trainer, as my part-timer. But he had been coming in the store getting stuff and everything, and we got to talking and all. And so I heard, that's how I got started. And then I hired him as my part timer. And I went from 230 to 160 and 155 and 160. And I kept that off for, quite a while. And I'm just like, I've got 100 pounds to go, and I'm determined to get the rest of it off. Just because I want for my health, but because I want to, I want to, I don't want all this on me anymore. And, they keep saying it's age, it's age. It's like, no, it's not age. It's not because, metabolism has slowed down or whatever, and this, that, and the other. Yeah, maybe some things, but, I'm tired of hearing, oh, it's your age. And that was not the same thing was with my heart. It wasn't age. It was something totally different. So, the health journey is quite interesting and everything. So, but yeah, I mean, make sure I say give it a try. Give it a couple of weeks. Do it for a month, and then let me know how you're doing, because it's not going to take long. You'll feel the difference in the first week or so, and like your breads, your bread puddings, your sweets. And Christmas is coming up, and I did the same thing back then. And here is the funny thing. My parents always loved going to the all you can eat buffets all the time. So this was a trick that I used to do, and it still helped me lose weight. So I remember, I forgot where I was at. Got off early. It was a Sunday. I know it was a Sunday. I think it was after church or something other like that. They went to, it was the All-American or home buffet or whatever and everything else. So, and they were like, aren't you? I'm like, I can switch this up. My hour was that time I went to the buffet with them. So that was my big lunch and everything. So when I got hungry at home for a snack, I had what I was going to plan to eat anyway, was whether it was the chicken, the steak, or if I had chicken salad sandwich. And then for nighttime, I did no carbs and just had my meal that I would have if it was for breakfast or for lunch. So I switched it up, and it still worked. So I was like, yeah, I know what to do. Doing it, and consistency is always the key. And that's with everything. I'm also convinced that the verse, 1 Corinthians 9:27, I discipline my body and bring it into subjection. Least when I have preached to others, I myself should become disqualified. I know. But we're all human. So, God's we're not the perfect ones. Jesus, the perfect ones, is the perfect one. But he knows that we'll falter, but that's okay. Because, that's why we get up again and, we're saying, get up, brush yourself off and do it again. He's the one that gives us the strength to do it again. And everything. Oh, I know. The discipline and consistency is, I think we all struggle with that in some point or another, whether it's food, whether it's our thought process, or being negative or positive, complaining about things. The Bible talks about that too, about not complaining. And sometimes I find myself doing that, and I'm like, oh, catch myself. Oh, Lord, I know. Just let it go. But it's like, especially when you get up and you're in pain, and it's like, okay, I'm not going to complain about the pain today. I'm just going to get up and do. And that's why I try to keep myself so busy, as mentally busy and physically busy as much as possible. If y'all were here during the day, y'all would get the biggest kick because, like, by now, I'd be up, walk around, then I sit down, and every 30 minutes, and when my daughter-in-law's down here, she looks at me, she goes, "You okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I cannot sit for longer than 30 to 40 minutes. I've got to get up." Yes, we just have to submit to him and his ways, which we do struggle with. Yes, we do. But that's the salvation, the forgiveness, and the grace that he gives us every single day and everything. Start off with Jesus in the morning. I'm telling you, your day goes a whole lot better. So during the day, I'm okay doing that. When it's dinner time and I sit down and I finally will sit and relax, and everything, then after I realize, oh, I ain't got up. I have degenerative disc disease from the top of my spine to the bottom of my spine. The L5 has fused itself to S1, and I've had degenerative disease in the sacrum, your butt bone, and everything since around 2002, 2003. So that's one of the key factors of eating dairy-free or low carb. The dairy-free is coming from my granddaughter being born with it. Alpha gall is because I got bit by a tick in 2017. Well, attached to whatever. Anyway, but that's where that's all come from. But I know my weight has, bearings on your bones and everything else. One thing about my doctor I do love, he sit there, he assured me that all the things with the bones and everything did not come by my weight, for me being overweight or having babies or anything else like that. He goes, it was just something that's in my genetics. I said, thank you very much, because I had one doctor tell me I was lying and it was all in my head. And it's not. I've had brain scans to prove it. So, yeah, definitely. I like doing the low carb that way. It will become a lifestyle, and then you can do a maintenance type thing once you get to the weight that you want. You can do it 2 ways. Do low carb 3 days that way, and then 4 days eat regularly and everything. Or you could do 4 days low carbs and 3 days. So if you know there's a special occasion coming up, birthdays, anniversaries, holidays are coming up, that's a good way to do things. If even if you're still losing weight, you can still do the low carbs and then have your favorite desserts and everything in that hour. But if you're like in a maintenance type thing and you want to just have, you're going to family for special foods and all, you could do it that way. So if it's a Saturday, so 4 days of low carbs, and then Saturday you can have, that'd be your free day, call it a free day, and then you can go back to doing what you need to do. Richard Simmons had a good weight loss plan back. Oh my goodness, this was back in 1981. So from, let's see, 79, 80, 81, 82. So 82 was when he came out with his, probably, because I was going from 8th grade to 9th grade. Yeah, 13, 14, somewhere around like that. And he had those cards and everything. Well, we had those. And then we had his exercises and everything. And his exercises, they still work today. And I didn't do my little short I was supposed to do. But anyway, but his exercises, I did his arms exercises and everything. That stuff worked. But, even then, his breakfast stuff, whether they said like a grapefruit or something and eggs and all, I went back, I was looking, I tried to research it online, but basically it was low carb because tuna fish was a lot of lunches and everything, and lettuce wraps and all back then. So it's like they had something they knew that they didn't want to really tell us all about doing the low carb and all. But that, and then, we did walk around our block and stuff. So I was like, when they go, do you exercise? And I'm like, not like people think of exercising, because I can't get out and walk around the block like up and down the sidewalk like I used to. But if you consider getting up and walking to the bathroom, walking to the kitchen, and then go sit down every 30 minutes, exercise, and so be it. Because I can't, if I sit too long, I have got to grab onto something to pull me up, or someone's pulling me out of the chair. It's just like, this is going to change. I was like, okay, we're changing some things up and all. So, but yeah, that is our plan for cooking and everything. I'm going to take some recipes out of those cookbooks and everything, and we're going to change them up. Figure out a different way for, and we do have a dairy-free pumpkin pie recipe. Gotta find it, make sure we have it. I still have it here, and it's not in storage. And then, and we also have one. It's the same pumpkin pie recipe, but not with a crustless pie. So that I will be doing. Some other meals that with the turkey burger. And I know, it's just like with that regular hamburger. It's like, you eat the same thing, spaghetti and lasagna and everything, and come up with something different besides that, and meatloaf. My son hates meatloaf. I don't blame him. He goes, that's nothing but a big ball of meatballs. Just like, yeah, but so, and just come up with something different. I like stuffed cabbage, so we'll try something with that. And then they do have turkey spam, so I have that I'm gonna be doing something with and all. So, but I've been on here for an hour and a half. It is midnight where I'm at. I know, Misha, I think it's an hour later where you're at. But I was like, I just want to come up here, show you all this barbecue sauce. The video is coming out next week. The video for this, I had to show Joy and Donnie because I don't think they saw, unless they see on the replay. But these were supposed to be cream cheese bells. Which were supposed to be these right here. So, yeah. And then the couldn't turn out. But that's all right. They still doing good. And I was telling Anastasia we had some ideas when we were eating them last night and everything. And I was like, she goes, you've got to make the filling again. I said, I just thought of something. Take that filling and use it as for a cinnamon roll. Instead of a cinnamon roll filling, do a nut filling. She goes, oh, yeah, that'd be so good. It's an hour earlier here. No, you're an hour later. It's midnight here, and it's so you're an hour behind. Oh, that's okay. It doesn't matter. I'm sometimes up to still 2 o'clock in the morning crocheting or something or another. Joy and I were watching the tsunami the other night. That thing was crazy. To sit down and see that water recede like it did, and then come washing up into the shore. But the waves, Honolulu, Connie, Hawaii, didn't come up as they thought it would. I think the last one we went to bed, it was the highest was 4 feet. But then we did hear later on the next day, somewhere had like 7-foot waves. And this is water. The soda's been gone for a while. This is how I measure my water. I drink 2 of these a day. And 2 liters is your 64 ounces of water. So I figured that out. I thought I was drinking more water than that. But I was like, it was like, oh, that's good. I shouldn't, I'm like, no, 2 of these is a lot of water. And I was like, okay, so I had to convert it and everything. And it's like, no, it's still my 64 ounces of water. Because I've learned, what I've researched, it says you drink 8 ounces for every 10 pounds you're overweight, you're supposed to drink another 8 ounces of water. I'm like, I like to see somebody do that. Yeah, go ahead. Because it takes me a while to drink just 2 of those things full of water all day long. Plus the coffee and the tea. That was scaring my friends. And I know, I was just like, oh my goodness. I was sitting there praying, like, Lord, please do not let that water rise like that. They've had enough with the fires and everything. And now, tropical storms are going that way. I'm like, okay. So, I'm like, if I can stay up that late, I can do late nights on the lives. Which that's what I'm planning to do anyway. So, I know, I'm going to get ready and get off of here. Thank y'all for coming. You have a good night, Misha. Sweet. Hey, that's a nice, relaxing thing before you go to bed. So thank y'all so much for being here. We've had fun. I look forward to y'all seeing the videos coming out next week and everything. This is wonderful, and I will put like cheese on it and melt it tomorrow, and that'll be my breakfast, lunch, brunch. So y'all have a wonderful and blessed night. God bless. Stay safe. We love y'all, and we'll see you next time on Cooking Dairy Free and Alpha Golf Nancy. See y'all later.